A wealthy merchant loses everything in a single moment. His ship shatters against the rocks, his fortune vanishes beneath the waves, and he washes ashore in Athens with nothing but the clothes on his back. Most people would call this the end. But for Zeno of Citium, this devastating shipwreck became the beginning of something extraordinary, a philosophy that would shape emperors, guide leaders through wars, and transform millions of lives across 2,000 years. That catastrophic moment in 300 BCE didn't destroy Zeno. It forged him into the founder of Stoicism. If this resonates with you, hit that like button right now. Picture this scene. Zeno, broke and bewildered, wanders into a bookshop in Athens. He picks up writings about Socrates and becomes captivated. When he asks the bookseller where he can find such wisdom today, the man points to Crates, the cynic walking by. That chance encounter launched Zeno's philosophical journey. But here's what makes this remarkable. Zeno didn't retreat into academic theory. He took his hard-won insights straight to the marketplace, literally teaching under a painted porch called the Stoa Poikile. This is why his followers became known as Stoics. First principle: transform obstacles into opportunities. Zeno's shipwreck perfectly exemplifies this core Stoic teaching. When external circumstances stripped away everything he thought defined him, he discovered something unshakable within. Modern neuroscience confirms what Zeno intuited: our brains are remarkably adaptable. When we reframe setbacks as redirections rather than rejections, we activate different neural pathways. Consider Sarah Blakely, who turned repeated business rejections into motivation to build Spanx into a billion-dollar empire. Or J.K. Rowling, who transformed unemployment and depression into the Harry Potter phenomenon. They embodied Zeno's fundamental insight: external events are neutral until we assign meaning to them. Second principle: focus only on what you can control. Zeno taught that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. He divided all experiences into two categories: what's up to us and what's not up to us. This isn't passive resignation, it's strategic empowerment. In your career, you can't control market crashes, company layoffs, or economic recessions. You can control your skill development, networking efforts, and attitude. In relationships, you can't control others' choices, words, or feelings toward you. You can control your communication, boundaries, and responses. When tennis champion Serena Williams faced match point against her, she focused entirely on the next shot, not the scoreboard. When Tim Cook took over Apple after Steve Jobs, he didn't try to become Jobs, he controlled what he could: his own leadership style and vision. Third principle: practice negative visualization. This might sound pessimistic, but Zeno understood something profound about human psychology. By occasionally imagining loss, we appreciate what we have and prepare mentally for inevitable challenges. Subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a video that could change your life. Modern psychologists call this defensive pessimism, and research shows it reduces anxiety while increasing gratitude. Spend 5 minutes each morning imagining temporary loss of things you value: your health, relationships, or opportunities. This isn't dwelling on doom, it's building emotional resilience and present moment appreciation. Navy SEAL use similar mental rehearsal techniques, visualizing mission complications to stay calm under actual pressure. Entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos regularly consider worst-case scenarios, which helps them make better decisions and stay grounded during success. Fourth principle: live according to virtue, not validation. Zeno identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. He taught that virtue is the only true good because it's the only thing that cannot be taken from you by external circumstances. In our social media age, we often chase likes, follows, and external validation. But these metrics are ultimately empty if they are not aligned with virtuous action. True fulfillment comes from acting with integrity regardless of recognition. Consider Malala Yousafzai, who continued advocating for education despite death threats because it aligned with her values. Or consider everyday heroes like teachers who inspire students without fanfare, or caregivers who serve family members without recognition. They embody Zeno's teaching that virtue is its own reward. Fifth principle: accept what is while working toward what could be. This final principle might seem contradictory, but it's actually the key to sustainable change. Zeno taught acceptance of present reality as the foundation for effective action, not as an excuse for inaction. When you fully accept your current situation without emotional resistance, you free up mental energy for strategic improvement. Fighting reality creates stress and clouds judgment. Accepting reality creates clarity and enables wise action. Oprah Winfrey accepted her difficult childhood without letting it define her limitations. She channeled those experiences into empathy and connection that built a media empire. Nelson Mandela accepted his imprisonment while never accepting injustice. He used those decades to develop the wisdom and patience that transformed a nation. The beauty of Zeno's philosophy lies in its practical simplicity. These aren't abstract concepts requiring years of study. They're tools you can implement immediately, when your next crisis hits, and it will remember the merchant who lost everything and found something greater. Remember that every setback contains the seeds of strength, every obstacle offers an opportunity for growth, and every challenge is a chance to practice these timeless principles. Zeno proved that wisdom doesn't come from avoiding life's storms, but from learning to dance in the rain. His Shipwreck became our inheritance, a philosophical framework that transforms victims into victors and obstacles into stepping stones. 2,000 years later, his marketplace wisdom remains as relevant as ever. In boardrooms and classrooms, hospitals and homes, people still turn to Stoic principles when life feels overwhelming. They work because they are based on fundamental truths about human nature and the reality of existence. The question isn't whether you'll face challenges. The question is whether you'll meet them with Zeno's wisdom or without it. Will you let circumstances define you, or will you use them to refine you? The choice, as Zeno would remind us, is entirely up to you. That's the ultimate power and the ultimate responsibility. Your shipwreck might be a job loss, a relationship ending, a health scare, or simply the daily pressures of modern life. But like Zeno, you have the capacity to transform any catastrophe into wisdom, any setback into strength, and any ending into a new beginning. The Stoic path isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Drop a comment below. What is your biggest challenge right now? I read every single one. If this video helped you see challenges differently, smash that like button and subscribe for more ancient wisdom that applies to modern life.